This video is about bullying and suicide. I am Seer Travis, and this is Truth TV Episode 9. Now, it's a well-known fact that many human beings who are members of society commit suicide every year. Now, this occurs throughout all societies, but we'll concentrate on Western societies for this video. Now, this isn't a natural thing. Only human beings commit suicide. No other species of life on the planet ever commits suicide. And sure, there are myths such as lemmings and other creatures who are supposed to commit suicide, but that's all they are. They are myths. This is not true. Society invents these lies, but no, only human beings commit suicide. Now, what drives them to suicide, even though there are lots of individual motivations and stresses and things that cause them to kill themselves? It is the fact that they are harmed and damaged by their society and the societal conditioning. Now, in truth, suicide is in fact a self-murder. It is actually the murder of an individual by the self, that which is the fault of society. So if in a society there are 2,000 suicides, so-called suicides, every year, those are really all murder victims of society. Now, one particular aspect that destroys human beings of society is the societal instruction and conditioning that the individual should put others first. The conditioning that they themselves exist to serve society, to serve something else, put other things first. And this unnatural lie-based conditioning causes severe emotional and psychological problems, to develop in the majority of human beings. Some to the point of suicide, some to commit crimes. It has a unique effect on each individual, but it has an effect on each individual, usually a negative effect. Now, society teaches you to take your problems out on yourself. It says, don't go and lash out at others and act out. You're supposed to bottle it up or drink or take drugs or whatever to internalize it or deal with it yourself and not take it out on others. So it's easy to see how the unnatural pressures and conditionings of society causes people to commit the self-murder acts. Now, a particularly interesting part of this is how broken most citizen slaves are. Now, for example, the victims of school bullying often go on to kill themselves, and there's been a bit of a spate of those in the ultra-diseased society of Australia recently. A lot of the citizen slaves there have committed self-murder. Now, the thing is there that bullying is a socially sponsored form of violence, between children in society. Now, society allows this okay? And people have killed themselves because they're being abused and they don't know what to do. It often amazes me that if you're going to kill yourself, and thus you've removed all of the possible consequences and so on, why they don't just at least take their persecutors with them. And sometimes that happens, such as with Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold or Kip Tinkle. Okay, if you're being bullied and abused and it's so bad that you're going to kill yourself, you've been virtually assaulted, molested and abused to death by society, and they're all laughing about it. If you're going to die anyway, why don't you just do a suicide attack? Why don't you get your own back? Why don't you save your spirit and your soul? Why don't you get your own back and thwart the enemy? Because you're going to die anyway. You know, it's a perfectly sane thing to do, but it often doesn't happen, and that's because the victims of bullying and societal conditioning are so broken, so downtrodden by society that they can't even summon the courage, the bravery, the superiority, okay, to come to this simple, sane conclusion. And that just shows you how severe the bullying and abuse of citizen slaves are. People all the time commit suicide. Okay, for example, they're upset over the loss of a girlfriend or a family member, and that supposedly tips them over the edge, you know? Well, that's a load of rubbish, folks, because what happens there is society has destroyed the self-love, okay, of all that all children are born with, and all animals as well are born with. It has stripped them of that normally protects them from those sorts of things. Normally one loves themselves and feels great about themselves and doesn't need or require any love or attention from others. And I am one such individual. I love myself because I'm a wonderful person. I love myself. I'm wonderful. There's nothing I wouldn't do for myself. Okay, because I have self-love. Now, the thing is with self-love, okay, is when it's stripped away, they will come to rely on the love of others. But, of course, there's nothing necessarily wrong with receiving the love of others, okay? It's needing and requiring this love that's the problem. Okay? When it's taken away, the individual should be able to love himself and still feel emotionally and psychologically happy and fine. He shouldn't require or need a constant reassurance or love from other human creatures. Now, because society's taken that away, a lot of people, that's why, commit suicide and become victims of their society. Very tragic victims of their society and the conditioning systems of that society. So, as you can see, these self-murders, okay, are all tied up in the conditioning and the institutions and the way society works. Okay, so, as you can see, society has, it's just another murder avenue of society, another sick byproduct of society, a diseased, sludgy minds of you human citizen slaves. And it's just puzzling to you creatures, of course, why people go down and shoot people and kill themselves. But of course, it's just a reflection of your society. Okay, and when somebody kills themselves, the guilt is on society and you people and the way you live your lives and what you've done to them. You have in effect murdered them. They have self-murdered themselves, but society is responsible. Because that's the way their brain, that the chemicals and the things in their brain and psychologically, okay, that's what they did as a system, as a unit. They committed suicide because of the state they were in, because of society. And therefore, society, having created all these traumas and problems, is responsible is murdering all these people, and it doesn't care. And then you wonder why that some of these people, before they commit suicide, go and find their persecutors, members of society, and shoot them. Well, it's all perfectly logical, folks. Huh? Okay? So, you know, as usual, you can find more information on this topic at my website at www.truthmedia.ak.com. This has been Seer Travis